Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are tuning in the world. Thank you so much for joining me for this very brief introduction to an online meditation program that I'll be offering this summer entitled Heartfelt Awareness, Bringing Mindfulness to Life. So, a little bit about myself in case you don't know me. My name is Chris Luard. I'm a long-time meditation and mindfulness practitioner. I've been studying and practicing for about 36, maybe a little more, 37 years perhaps. And I've trained and studied in many of the traditions worldwide. From the Buddhist tradition, I've studied in both Theravada, the earliest school, and also the later schools of Buddhism, Mahayana, including Korean Zen, Zen from Japan, and also Tibetan meditation. I'm also very fluent in many Western traditions such as positive neuroplasticity, trauma-sensitive mindfulness, mindfulness-based stress reduction, and so on. So I've made this really my life's calling. I've been teaching worldwide now for about 13 years, 12 or 13 years. So delighted to be bringing this program to you all today. So once again, thank you for joining me for this about 10 or 15 minute introduction to the course. There we go. So a little bit about mindfulness, because this is kind of well, it's an unfortunate translation of the word. The word in Sanskrit, from which these traditions arrive to us from, the word is sati. And sati could have just as easily been translated as heart. It's often translated as mind, it gives us mindfulness, but it could have easily been translated as heart or heartfulness. And I find that has a much deeper and perhaps softer, warmer quality to it. And so it is that type of quality that I will encourage the retreat participants to really connect with as we bring this heartful awareness to our day-to-day experience. And so very often people ask me, well, what exactly is mindfulness, right? It's kind of a buzzword nowadays. So I've presented a definition here on the screen. It's a definition that I'm currently using, and it's kind of a composite from many different teachers. And so I'll just read it here. It's recognizing and being present with what is happening internally and externally without judgment. So very often we're connected perhaps with what's happening presently in the external world, the sun setting behind me, the voice that you're hearing from the screen, and so forth, the image. Perhaps connecting with the feet against the ground or the weight of the body in the cushion or chair. But very often we forget about what's happening internally, the emotional quality of the present moment. And that's a fundamental part of mindfulness or heartfulness practice. And so we'll be we'll be spending quite a bit of time connecting with that aspect of the present moment during these 8 weeks. So a couple of ways mindfulness can be presented, and one way is therapeutic mindfulness. Mindfulness is a type of therapy, physical therapy. It's been shown through many, many, many years of study now that therapeutic mindfulness helps relieve stress and treat heart disease. It lowers the blood pressure. It can help reduce chronic pain. Also, many people report that it helps sleeping and also helps with like IBS or other gastrointestinal difficulties. But there's a spiritual quality to the practice of mindfulness that we'll be taking a very deep dive into as well in this 8-week course. Now, I do mention that and I also want to mention that although these practices do traditionally come from the Buddhist practices, uh, the entire 8-week course is completely secular, and it's made available to people from all walks of life, from any background, whether you're Christian or Muslim or agnostic or atheist or Hindu. It doesn't really matter. All are welcome. So, the spiritual aspect of mindfulness is really about connecting with the present moment, whether the present moment is pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And so, we'll be taking a deep dive into that aspect of mindfulness as well as the therapeutic application of mindfulness. And so, one of the texts that we'll be studying in this course, and we'll be studying a few different texts, but the primary text is the birthplace, if you will, of mindfulness practice as we know it today. And that text is known as the Satipatthana Sutta. And this does come from the Buddhist tradition. Satipatthana means establishing mindfulness, or the establishments of mindfulness, or sometimes translated as the foundations of mindfulness. And traditionally, there are four, and you can see them here on the screen: body, feeling tones, which are really our hedonic tones, pleasant or neutral or unpleasant; mind, the activity of the mind; and Dhamma, which is kind of an unusual word. It's a Pali word or a Sanskrit word. And I could spend a whole hour just talking about different translations of that word Dhamma. But for now, just knowing that it means something like mental formations, formations of the mind, perhaps different ways we might frame our experience. And we'll spend 2 weeks on each of those, which makes the 8-week program. So we'll be taking a deep dive into the formal meditation practices of mindfulness, coming from the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddhist traditions, both the early traditions and the later traditions. I'll also be presenting practices from neuroplasticity, which is very helpful because practices around neuroplasticity, or the practices that come from that view, are really designed to help us embody what we're learning. Neuroplasticity is the process of taking passing states and making them into permanent traits. So we take this passing experience of mindfulness, which, yes, can be quite pleasant, and we actually really install that in our nervous system and in our brain so that it lasts, so we can maintain that mindfulness throughout the day. And then we'll be also looking at other practices that are directly focused on that. How can we be present right now with this experience, with what's unfolding right here and right now? So here it is in a nutshell. Here's the whole frame. Heartfelt awareness, again, bringing mindfulness to life. This is an 8-week online program, online only. It's not a hybrid program, it's offered online. It runs from July 26th to September 16th, and these times are all East Coast time, at least in the first paragraph there. 8 to 10 p.m. Tuesday and Friday evenings, East Coast time. That's 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. in Thailand. That's where I'll be stationed then. Right now I'm at the New Life Foundation in Portugal, in their extraordinarily beautiful meditation hall. Section 2 of Heartfelt Awareness is really designed to cater to people in a European time zone. It runs from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Monday and Thursday mornings if you're in France. And so you can adjust your times accordingly. I also often have people from Thailand and Asia joining that section because it's later in the day. It's 3 to 5 in the afternoon in Thailand. So if that's more appropriate for you, for your lifestyle, you're more than welcome to join. So a little bit about the frame of the course. It'll be a group setting. I typically cap each section at 20 participants, so seating is limited. So if you're thinking about signing up, please go ahead and register, or if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I'm happy to get those. So the price tag, the 99 US dollars, includes the twice a week sessions. It also includes one-to-one sessions with me. If you feel at any point during the 8 weeks that you would like to meet with me one-on-one, I'm happy to make that available. You can attend all the live sessions or just a few of the live sessions, or as much or as little as is comfortable for you. All of the sessions are recorded and generally made available to the retreat participants only just a few hours after the session. And I emphasize the retreat participants only because I really value the confidentiality agreements that we'll be entering into together so that we can all speak from our heart without fear of who's hearing the recordings and so forth. You will have lifetime access to the material. No worries there. So there is generally quite a lot of material offered. And so you may wish to review the course at a later time, and you'll be welcome to do that. Everything that I offer, whether it's this course or a different course or one-to-one sessions or anything that I offer, I do so from a secular voice. I'm not here to convert anyone to any particular faith or religion or walk of life. And I'm very passionate about making these teachings accessible to everyone. And including in that is to create a trauma-informed environment. So I try to make these teachings available to people if you have a kind of a activated nervous system, or if you feel you're quite sensitive to certain sounds or images, things like that. I really try to create a frame so that people with any style of nervous system can receive great benefit from the offering. So that's, I think, everything, and hope to see you all on the retreat. Have a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening, and we'll see you there. Thank you so much.